It's Seiya time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Bandai Saint Cloth Myth Phoenix Cloth. It is Ikki in his first outfit. I mean, they had like a couple of armors throughout the show, and this is the very first one. It is a recent re-release, and I got this guy because Ikki is my favorite. You know, I don't have a lot of Saint Cloth. I only have the Athena, which I got from the Tamashii Nations World Tour, and I got like a Pegasus Koga because he was cheap. That was my first venture into the Saint Cloth universe, into the line. I'm not gonna get much more of these, but I gotta have my boy Ikki. So that's where we are right now, so let's have a look. So first I want to have a look at the dude without the armor. Even though the armor, you know, it's very important, but I want to have a look at the general figure with the general articulation before the armor gets slapped on. He stands at 17 centimeters, a little shy of 7 inches tall. Face sculpt has the classic anime eyes. I say classic anime eyes because back in the day, I mean, didn't really every anime character have like these big eyes with tons of like lighting in the iris and whatnot? He has the scar going down, really wild hair, nicely molded. They left a lot of space in the back. I mean, that's cool for the articulation later. It looks wonky, but again, I'm looking at the figure. I'm not really criticizing anything about this bare bones figure because, I mean, you want to put the armor on, so the hand moves back and forth, does tilt side to side, does go all the way around. You have some neck articulations, probably just on a ball joint, have a hinge in the shoulder, and I'm going over this very fast if you notice. You can rotate it around because it's probably on a pack that goes into another ball, have the floaty part in there, bicep swivel, double hinged, elbow, and the fist is on a ball hinge that you can bring back and forth and rotate around. Torso articulation, you got the upper body part rotating around like that. Same goes for the lower, has a little bit of more limited motion, but it does get the job done. Then the legs have hinges, kind of like ball hinges, but not really. It's molded like a ball. It doesn't have the same range completely. Doesn't really go back because it gets blocked by the bar forward and out to the side, and you can rotate it around on the thigh itself, and then you have a double hinged knee and the die cast feet which go forward, back, and you can also have a swivel at the ankle, and then we have a toe hinge. So yeah, I want to give you a final look at the feet, nice and die cast stuff. And overall the figure, I mean, this is bare bones, so let's slap some armor on this guy. Alright, quick intermission. A couple of things about the hair. You actually have two different pieces which you're supposed to put on the head before you put the helmet on. And the reason why you have a big gap in the back is because you have two more hair pieces which you just connect to the joint which connects to the head. So this is all kind of next level technology. I'm always kind of impressed with what they're doing for these Saint Cloth Myth figures. But basically you just tuck that in here over here, and then we're gonna put the helmet on. And the rest, see you in a bit. And finally, in his full form, the Phoenix rises again. Yep, lots of shiny, some die cast, some plastic. Let me cover that real quick. The helmet is completely plastic, even this piece, be careful with that. Then the shoulder pads are also plastic. The chest piece, everything going around over here is die cast, except for the breastplate. That is plastic. This is die cast. Fists obviously plastic, and the pieces on there, the armor part on there is also plastic. It's shiny, but you can see a little bit of a difference from what's die cast and what is plastic. Then we're going down, same thing with the belt. It is completely die cast. You have the hinges over here as you wrap them around, and it does stay in place very nicely. And these little panels, those are all plastic, and the knee pads die cast, this die cast, and the feet is also die cast, as we already established. His feather tails are completely soft plastic, and they look very nice. They are cleanly painted, and they're just packed in at the top over here, so you can move them out. Don't really move them up, maybe a little bit, but it's not on ball joints, really just packed in. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but for the rest of it, he looks fantastic. And I did put a different face on him, the smiling face, like the arrogant, cocky smile. I love that one. But yeah, giving you another overlook of everything that's going on with the figure, all the detail in it, very shiny, metallic stuff. I love it. I mean, that's the thing. You want these guys to be shiny. Saint Seiya, Knights of the Zodiac, whatever you want to call it. It's really about all the armor, accessories, and the power they're getting from it. Now going back to the articulation real quick, let's see what changed. The head is pretty limited now with the big hairpiece in the back. The shoulder pads and the collar is really blocking it. Does still rotate around, but it's obviously blocked because of everything going on as the hairpiece goes bye-bye already. So that's great. Let me tuck that back in. Shoulder pads, you can move them up and down. They have two hinges, one up here and one down there, and then it goes off. But you have this entire piece which is hinged into the collar, and it is on a small tiny ball pack, not really giving you a lot, but you can rotate it a little bit back and forth. The arms still have a decent amount of range, still get the hinge up as far as the shoulder pads let it, and you can still rotate it around. In there, biceps swivel obviously unhinged, elbow unhinged. The fist, you can pull this up or down. I like to pull it not far down, because otherwise you have too much skin tone showing. But really it just depends on how far you want the forearm pad up or not. And the torso articulation also surprisingly unrestricted by everything that's going on. The hip part is obviously a little bit limited, but still rotation is fine. And since all these panels are on hinges, the leg articulation also hasn't really suffered, still works nicely, still doesn't really go back, but be careful to not break anything off. These panels are really tightly in there. And then we got double hinged knees, really just same thing, it hasn't really changed. And the foot is a little bit limited, but not really that much. So that's a real surprisingly nimble Phoenix you still got in his armor. So let's move on to one more thing. But you might just be saying, Payne, I don't want some anime dude in a Phoenix armor. I'm just here to get a badass Phoenix statue. You can have that too. You have some extra parts over on the wings. I mean, it recycles a lot from the armor. You have the graves on the legs and the knee pads. And this is basically this entire chest part, which wraps around the back. Of course, the Phoenix plumes, like the tail, feathery tail. And then you have the extra parts with the wings, which is all plastic. There's no die, not really any die cast, and I forgot something on the tip. Hold on, but I'm gonna give you an overlook of the entire Phoenix statue. It looks very nice, as you can tell. It's super shiny. As far as articulation goes, it doesn't really have anything. I mean, it is stable. You can still move up the shoulder pads to your own liking, even though this one's kind of going back. But if you bring it up a little bit, you can make it look even more majestic, like feathers. And you have the beak over here, but as I said, I forgot something. Hold on real quick. Now it's complete. I actually forgot the crown. And the reason I forgot the crown is because that is so tight on the helmet, and it's the soft plastic. I'm just like, please go off without breaking. So that's really a challenge. But overall, I mean, I like this look, guys. You have still some detail in there, and it's super shiny all throughout it. Let me spin it around one more time so you can have a nice overlook. There are some parts that are light gray plastic, like mostly the joints, by the way. You can move up and down for the wings if you want to. I mean, you want to have majestic pose, and you can rotate them around over here because that's just on a swivel. So you have a hinge and a swivel. So you can position your wings however you like. There you go with the Phoenix statue. And finally, I want to have a look at the rest of the accessories. Here's the two faces. This is the face that came on the figure, and one more yelling face. Looks nice. And for the hands, you got only armored hands. You only got the fist hands without the armor. These are more posing hands, a little bit grabbing hands, but you don't really have anything to grab. More posing hands, or still a bit grabby, booby grab hands. Haven't said that in a while. Let's bring that back. Then we got the open hands, really when he, I don't know, posing. Still, it's mostly posing. And the one pointy finger only for the right hand. nicely painted with the knuckles over there. And then we got an extra pair of these pieces, which are basically just for all the hands. You put that on there. I don't know if it's the right side right now, but just slam that on there. And then you have your shiny armor part for all your hands, and that's really it. And it's gonna bring me to the final thoughts, but before I go, there's one more thing I forgot to mention. You can also put the wings on Ikki in his armor mode, like not only on the Phoenix itself, but also on him. If you want to, I think that's a little bit overboard. I like to have the classic regular look. So what do I think about this classic regular look? I love this figure. Now I do know I don't have a lot of St. Cloth Myth, but this is by far my favorite. I mean, I had Pegasus Koga, which was a little bit busy, had a lot of stuff disconnecting. And then you have Athena, which basically was not able to move around at all because the armor was just covering her entire body. So this is really in the middle. He looks good, he looks accurate. It's also due to his design not being as busy as other ones, but still, everything that's there is done nicely. Very shiny, bits of die cast here and there where it should be, and you have this soft plastic. Now, I mean, one thing I could maybe a little bit complain about is that this would be on ball joints, so it would be better to move around, but that's really just not even a complaint, it's just an idea to make the figure even better. The other thing I didn't mention, there's a little bit of color differences between his hand and his arms and the face overall. The skin color, skin tones are completely different. This is just a lot darker, so that's also weird. But for the rest of it, again, those are just small nitpicks. Overall, I still love this figure. I still think this figure looks great, and I do recommend this figure. So this has been a re-release of the Phoenix, and if you want yours, I guess now is the time to get them. Or not, because I don't know if they're gonna do another one. I've been waiting for this re-release for a long time. I'm hoping they do more versions of your boy Ikki. But that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, gameplay stuff, and whatever the Phoenix Ikki wants.